Hello again. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how I got here. So as you can see, I've got lots of certificates. I've got lots of awards, but it really hasn't always been like that. I started life in a working class household, which was okay. My parents did the best job that they could, but we're both alcohol dependent. I went to state schools, and then I was lucky enough to go to a really good secondary school. When I got to 16, I had a baby, my daughter, and I was excluded to a social housing estate. It was a sink estate, and I was living in abject poverty. I barely had enough to eat. I prioritised my daughter, and it was really, really difficult life. It was difficult to get a job because not only of the postcode, but because I was a single parent, and it was in the late 1970s. So what did I do? I just kept going, and I kept making mistakes, and I kept carrying on, and I kept getting different jobs. But the one thing that I did was I journaled everything. So my whole journey was journaled. It was really important to me to write down the opinions of other people. I was very, very conflicted because I felt like I was doing a really good job, but other people's opinions did not tell me that, and I was really interested to find out why. So time went on, and I got a job. I had another child, and they grew up a little bit. I was involved in a very acrimonious divorce, and at that point, I decided that I'd go back into education. When I say go back into education, I left school with 6 O levels, which today is the equivalent of GCSEs. I did a degree in psychology when I was in my 30s. At first, I wanted to study clinical psychology. I was very interested in it. But then I transferred from a following master's degree onto a doctorate, which at the time seemed unbelievable that I could be on a doctorate. But when I look back, I had made a change plan. There were certain trigger points, which you learn about in the course, that had prompted me to make that plan. It had prompted me to look into the future and visualise the person that I could be in the future, and to interrogate what I wanted out of life. I've done this at many points in my life. And when I was doing my doctorate, I was working with people who were vulnerable, and also I was studying identity construction, which was absolutely fascinating because I learned how identity was constructed, and I proposed my own model of identity construction. So how did I get from there to here? So after I finished my PhD, I decided that I wanted to be a novelist. So I made another change plan, and that worked out for me. And I thought, I'm getting pretty good at these change plans. I'm going to write these down. So I did. I created a template, and I started to use this with organisations. I used it with organisations that had vulnerable people involved, such as domestic violence organisations, families of missing people, and other organisations. And in 2013, I was awarded an MBE for that work. So since then, I've been working with individuals and companies on looking at how we can implement identity change, both corporate and personal. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people face to face, but when the pandemic came and in lockdown, I took my practice online, and it worked out really well. So I thought that it would be a good idea to make a course that I could share with many more people. And this is that course. So that's how I got here. Those are my qualifications. As you can see, I'm a chartered scientist. I'm a member of the British Psychological Society. The work that you're going to do in this course is not necessarily psychological work. It does involve psychology to a point, but this is not a psychological session. And if you feel like you have any kind of mental illness or issues, please do consult your GP or go to see a mental health specialist. This course is not a substitute for that. But on the positive side, what this course is something that if you work at it and if you learn how to understand yourself, you have a really good chance of making those changes. It worked for me, and I wanted to share it with you.